you guys coming back to that sluggish start you've had in end of 2025, beginning of this year. How much was that? Was Creighton was doing? They forced you to 6 turnovers pretty early versus just self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah, I would say most of them are on us. I feel like we just weren't really taking care of the ball, just kind of overpassing and not looking for our shots and being aggressive.
Sarah, Coach has talked a little bit recently about just kind of wanting you to be more aggressive in your scoring versus passing. What has kind of been challenging about that process for you, and just kind of how do you feel like you've made progress in that?
Yeah, I feel like the most challenging part for me is always thinking pass first, even when I'm like driving to the basket, because I just want to get my teammates involved. And I feel like it's been challenging because in practice I'll overpass and I'll have a good amount of turnovers, so I just got to learn how to kind of, like you said, think, score first, and kind of look for myself before. Yeah.
Blanca, you checked in and had a steal within like the first couple seconds you were on the floor. Just what is it about? How are you able to come in and affect the game so quickly from sitting and watching?
I think for everybody that comes from the bench, just try to, how coach say, impact game and just try to be present, because as I say, we come from the bench, so we already watch the game. So I think we just have to do the right thing when we're on the court.
Sarah, UConn's fan base travels well. Probably heard them at times throughout this game, and then signing autographs for fans at the end. What's that like when you go on the road and there is such a presence for you guys?
Yeah, I feel like all of our fans travel kind of wherever we go. We have the best fan base, so it just really means a lot to, be in Nebraska and have a lot of people supporting us.
What worked for Sarah? What worked for you guys so well in the second quarter? You picked up the pressure, and obviously that created a lot of turnovers. What was it about that stretch that worked so well for you?
Yeah, I feel like we were getting stops defensively, and that kind of we were getting stops defensively, and that kind of helped our offense. I feel like we do a really good job of pressuring and getting on transition, and yeah, that's what we try to do.
That was quick. Thank you.
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks.
Safe travel home.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
Jen, did anybody understand her answer?
Blanca's?
Yeah. Anybody have any clue what she said?
Get there.
It's gotten better.
I'll wait to read it because I'll understand it better after I read what you guys write.
What's the call you're bickering with Sarah about?
I just thought we put ourselves in foul situations, where like some they're just going to happen, they're going to happen, and some, we mentally I think we make decisions that you don't go from 8 fouls the other night in a game that I think was a little more physical than this one to however many we had today. And their response always is it wasn't a foul, so and the officiating was different today, like it is every other game. It's never going to be the same every game, and you have to adapt to the way the game's being called, so between the turnovers and the number of fouls, there were just some questionable decision making by us, but again, I think the thing that I'm trying to keep in mind is that this is how the season goes. It doesn't go on a straight line, straight up. There's going to be good games. There's going to be great games. There's going to be mediocre games, average games. You're going to get a little bit of all that. And playing teams in our league is mentally challenging. Not as much physically challenging, I don't think, but mentally it can be challenging because you're playing against teams that don't play with a traditional, lineup. So there's a lot of movement that makes you have to kind of decipher things really, really, really quick. And this is a whole new group for Creighton than they've had the last 3 years, where you kind of could lock into this kid likes to do this kid likes to do that. So they're going to be really good when these kids grow up a little bit and they're getting a lot of experience right now, but you know, they're not easy to keep track of the way they move. Right now, they're just not experienced enough to make some of the open shots that they get. But you know, it's not easy to just come out and say, "All right, well, let's get up 25 on these guys." It's not that easy.
Was that movement, what was maybe giving trouble in the first quarter, and then what adjustments did you make in that second to go outscore them 33-7 in that frame?
Well, it's a combination of things, you know. When you're able to get buckets at the other end, and you make shots, and now you're able to play from, we score, we pick up, they have to score, so they rush. But when you're throwing the ball away and you're missing down the other end, you're not getting opportunities. They don't feel the same sense of pressure, you know, because they're in the game still at that time. So I think as we started scoring and our pressure picked up and increased, you know, it caused a lot of problems for them, and it got us into a lot of easy opportunities.
Creighton leads the Big East with 9 3-pointers per game. You guys limited them to just 3 today. How much of an emphasis was that? I mean, I think they were 0-14 from deep to start.
Yeah. I don't know how many they took today. They're averaging about 28 a game or something like that.
25.
They took 25. So they're going to get them. They're going to take them. And they had enough open ones too that they didn't make. And that's been their game for as long as I think Flan's been here. That's the way they play. They're trying to get as many threes as they can. And they're good at it, you know. So we went into the game feeling like their number's 9 that they make, and I thought if we could hold them to 4 or 5 that we would be doing a great job. So I don't know how many they get. 3. Yeah, and they all came late. I think they came in the fourth quarter, I think. So I thought we did a pretty good job, but you know, they still get their share of open ones.
I felt like Heckle was kind of shifting the momentum in some of those moments, especially early on. Like when she
I thought her first stint out there was not so great. You know, I thought she was, you know, there's only one way that Heckle's really, really effective, and that's when she's the most aggressive kid on the court. You know, aggressive defensively, where she's trying to make a play every time, aggressively offensively, where she's pushing the pace, you know, and then she knocks down those threes. I think that changes things for her. But yeah, I didn't think KK had one of her best games, so it's really nice for us to, you know, bring somebody like Heckle in. And it was also good to have both of them on the bench and have AZ, you know, take a run at it. You know, that's one of the nice things that we have this year is we got some options on how we want to go. And sometimes our big lineup is good. Sometimes our small lineup is better. Today in that second quarter, that small lineup was pretty good. You know, Sarah and Blanca together are a tough matchup for people.
Kind of on that note, Sarah Strong kind of sits and waits a little bit before making her move to start games, whether she's processing or just kind of assessing the defense. Would you rather her start earlier with that kind of momentum, or do you like that she kind of waits to read it before she gets going?
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's a combination of things. There are times when she gets the ball early and doesn't force the issue, which I would like her to. There are times when we might come down to first 5 possessions of the game, and we've got 5 guys that are wide open that shoot it because that's what we're used to, and she doesn't get enough touches yet. Then once those other guys start missing, then she gets a lot more touches, and then everything's right with the world again. So sometimes it just we don't in the beginning, maybe we should, but we get to a point very early in the game where we make a concerted effort to be intentional and get her the ball in certain spots.